Hello, I'm Allison Smith. The name of my company is called the IVRvoice.com, and I voice IVR, or Interactive Voice Response. If you've called probably any company globally, you've probably heard me. I'm one of those professional telephone voices. This presentation is geared towards people who resell telephone systems and who would probably benefit from having me as an add-on product to the systems that you sell. So here's my presentation. I live in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Right there is Calgary, and this is how I look most of the year. This is a short demo of some of the stuff that I've voiced. If you have a question about a project that's currently in production, press 2. Please hold while I transfer your call to an agent. All other issues, press 0, and we'll find someone to assist you right away. There you go, just sort of a short smattering. So, I'm probably best known as the voice of the Asterisk open source PBX. I've been voicing that pretty much since its inception, and I still continue to voice prompts for Asterisk users. I'm also the stock voice of Sangoma, FreeSwitch, and FreePBX. On the non-open source side, I have voice platforms for Bell Canada, Hawaiian Telcom, Sysco, Mitel, ShoreTel. This is just a small smattering of regular clients that I work for all the time. So PetSmart is a huge client of mine, Samsung, Kennedy Space Center, lots of really great clients. Of course, with my voice being so prevalent on a lot of systems, it's led to some interesting happenings. So I was checking into a hotel in Dallas to attend a conference, and I ordered one of those hotel wake-up calls, and it was me waking me up, which was kind of a strange feeling. The other story is that my husband downloaded a workout coach on his smartphone to keep him honest at the gym. And when he came home the first time he used it, he said, "Guess who the voice of the coach is?" So yes, that was me saying to him, "Come on, 5 more sit-ups, you can do it." So I believe he changed it to the Australian male. So as a reseller of telephone systems, you know that typically 3 things will happen upon the install of a system. The customer realizes they need opening greetings and closed greetings, so they usually get the office admin to voice those. Or sometimes the client themselves will just find an empty boardroom and just voice it directly over the handset. And I do talk to a lot of IT guys and telephony installers who they themselves have had to put the prompts on their customer system. The intention is to do it as sort of a temporary measure, and 20 years later, their voice is still on their customer system. So with the receptionist, the CEO, and the IT guy, voicing the prompts is not in their skill set. It's not their core competency. They have other jobs to do, and also they will be voicing the prompts over a handset, which is less than ideal. Another option is that people decide to go through a large agency that brokers in telephony voice talent. And I get a lot of customers that have done that and have come to me and tell me about things like high cost, slow turnaround, a complicated booking process, kind of impersonal service, and of course, having to audition a bunch of voices, which very few people have the time or the inclination to do. So where I come in, and hopefully where I fulfill kind of a niche, as I've mentioned, I'm already a recognizable branded voice, already heard on multiple platforms. I have a full-time dedication to IVR, so I still do other types of voicing, for example, commercials or e-learning projects, but IVR, call center, on-hold systems, and AI are kind of my core competency. That's what I do all day, every day. With that, of course, comes a huge amount of reliability. I offer fast turnaround, usually the same day if I get the script and payment before noon, Mountain Standard Time. I have a private dedicated sound studio with no additional studio charges. And again, if you go through a large agency, you can almost always expect to pay studio charges on top of the talent fee. My rates are competitive, and I'll talk about that in a few slides. And of course, I have a certain amount of versatility. So my background is actually in theater. And so I'm finding that a lot of people, when they design an IVR, they're after a persona or a character on their phone system. So with that background in acting, I'm directable. And of course, I'm able to take a phone system in any number of directions depending on what you're looking for. So some basic facts. Customers do not think about who will voice their phone system. In fact, most of them don't even really realize that they're going to have an opening greeting voiced and, all other greetings. They just want to get it up and running. So you as a reseller having access to somebody like myself with my skill set shows a lot of foresight and, indicates to your client that you're not just going to leave them with the issue of, I don't know, you go ahead and voice it yourself. I have no supplier that does that. Fast turnaround, affordability, and consistency are gold. They will need redos and re-records on their system. Everybody updates their system, especially when you're talking about a staff directory with extensions. That's very fluid. That's one of the prompts that's bound to change frequently. Having them all done in the same consistent voice definitely sounds more professional and is more seamless. The other thing that I always ask resellers to remind their customers is that they've spent a great deal of time and money on their branding message, whether you're talking about their website, their social media, even printed materials and trade show graphics. So for some reason, telephone systems get left out of that branding message, and it shouldn't. When a customer calls into their system, there should not be a disconnect with the branding message that they've encountered on their website as to when they phone the company. So how it works, I've tried to make it as simple and as turnkey as possible. Just basically go to the website, which is the IVRvoice.com. You would click on Order Online, and basically you cut and paste the script into the field and it will calculate the word count. I record the same day, as I mentioned, if the script reaches me before noon my time. I follow and welcome all direction about what mood or feel or style you're looking for. I record in any and all file formats you may require. I usually record in a high-res 16-bit 48,000 hertz file, and then I take those files and I downsample them into telephony standard, which is 16-bit 8. If you require other codecs like ULAW or Vox, I can accommodate that as well. The prompts are uploaded onto my secure FTP server, and you can invite numerous members of the team into that link to go in and take the files and share the files. So my rates, I've worked out word sets because that seems to make sense for people if they're only ordering a few prompts or if they only have like a minor update. It prevents them from being charged a large hourly rate. So up to 50 words is $150, 51 to 100 is $225, and so on up to 500 words, which is $450. Anything over 500 words is considered a larger session, and it's billed at $300 hourly, but I get a lot done in that hour, obviously. On hold systems, so that's usually 5 to 7 paragraphs with royalty-free music mix behind it. A one-off is $450, but there's a 15% discount if 4 are ordered per year. A lot of medical practices like to change it up frequently, seasonally. So I also do offer a 15% ongoing discount code offered to resellers and installers and distributors. So I like to reward you for referring me to your clients as well. So that rack rate that I showed you, I would offer you 15% off of that for you to keep. In addition to IVR, I offer some nice little extras. So I do IVR evaluation. I find a lot of my clients or new clients want me to go into their system and give it a listen and to give my opinion about how I think it can be made perhaps a bit more fluid and a bit more streamlined. So if you have an end user that doesn't know what to do with their system, I'm more than happy to give their old system a listen. I can even offer to write their IVR script, although I find that I'm a bit downstream in the process. And usually by the time people approach me, they already have a script written. In case they don't, I do offer that. As I mentioned, I do offer on-hold production. Presentations and webinars. So I've done a lot of presentations at various telephony conferences about ways to improve the caller experience and to not design phone systems that drive callers crazy. So any of these presentations that I've done can easily be converted into a webinar if you're looking for a webinar content. And a lot of people are. Hand in hand with that are IVR white papers and blogs. I'm constantly writing articles, again, about improving the caller experience. And sometimes the articles have dealt with the topic of how to write an IVR from the ground up, which might be useful to your clients. So any of these white papers can be repurposed specifically for you to put as content on your website. But wait, there's more. So Kepstrel out of Pittsburgh developed the Allison text-to-speech voice, and it's their number one seller. So that was me voicing a text-to-speech engine, and that's how I keep showing up in places I wasn't expecting. So it is good for smaller interstitial fill-ins, kind of like missing phrases or words. And a license from Kepstrel is available. It's affordable, and it's a good thing to have as a companion to custom prompts voiced by me. Another kind of strange project that I voiced that is available for sale is a names database. So I voiced a database of 350,000 proper names, first and last names. It was developed by a medical consortium to do appointment auto-dialing to patients that calls them personally by name and also satisfies HIPAA requirements. So if you have clients that are looking for a whole bunch of names, it's been used for bill collection as well and political polling. So that is available again for sale on my website. So to wind up the presentation, obviously you're an expert at your business. My service would obviously be a clear value add to what you offer. The challenge always is how and where in the stream to fit this piece of the puzzle. So often it will be your channel managers or salespeople that might suggest custom prompts as an add-on, as a way of adding a specific service onto a client's telephone system. I've also tailored kind of a managed services approach, so I can direct bill your end user or you, whichever is easier for you. A lot of my clients will do a prepaid retainer to eliminate constant invoicing. So, they would basically just prepay. I would work off the retainer and let you know when that balance is low. With the managed services, it's on-demand implementation and faster turnaround. With the managed services approach, you can also package my services in with yours as sort of a white label feature. Think of it as a boutique service and also kind of a white glove extra that you can sell your customers on. I have voiced for practically every industry: insurance, industrial, restaurant, medical. And so really there is no company or industry which wouldn't benefit from a nice, smooth, professional sound on their phone system. Once you explain to them the ease of using a pro to voice their prompts, it's kind of a chocolate meets the peanut butter moment. And here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out if you have further questions. Thanks for watching. Hello.